Hello everybody, so microphones for motovlogging. People ask me what I use. Basically I use the same as this, but this is actually Reno's. This is a Sena boom mic, well correction, this is the Sena sort of button mic. I use the boom mic, but it's basically the same thing. And I then convert it, because it comes with a 2.5mm jack, I convert it to a 3.5. Yes, you can get adapters to do that, but I find that they introduce movement, and after time that movement corresponds into crackling in your audio and loss of overall volume. So this is actually the best way that I've found, but it is very fiddly and annoying, and it will only last so long before something goes wrong. But I'm going to try and do this one the best I can, and maybe we'll have better luck and it will last longer. I actually happen to have another Sena button mic, so I'm just going to go with a completely new one, just so I can make sure I get Reno's mic up and running, and then I can try and fix this one into another mic for the future, so we've got another one just to switch over. The sound from the Sena boom mics is so much better than the drift mics. Now, I normally use the Ghost S, and obviously this just plugs straight into here. I am of late using my 4K as much as I can, and with that I have to plug this into an adapter which goes into a USB. So same thing, but you have to put that USB adapter in. I don't know about wiring directly to a USB for my 4K. I don't know the wiring layout. So I do what I do and this works. So I need to do with this one, because this is Reno's current one and it started crackling. If you get crackling in your mic, it's a broken lead. It always is a broken lead. So I'm just going to snip this off here, strip this back slightly, sort this one out, solder it together, and I thought I'd do a video and show you how I do it, because people keep asking me and then I can be like, look, this is what I do, but it's not something I can explain in a single comment. Okay, so this is what it was like before. As you can see, because this is a stereo plug, because it's got two, and this is a mono microphone, you're going to have two leads which go to one, and then one to one. So your left and right, as it were, are going to go to the mono, and then your grounds are going to go together. So if I snip this out, at least I know what I have to do again. Snip this off, and then strip this. This stuff's like super rubbery and does not want to cut. Let's see how this is going to be. It's using a scalpel blade to roll the cable and cut through. And success. Now I need to split these. Red, green, blue. And I happen to know, because of my bit that I chopped off, I need to wrap the green and the red together. However, these have like a plastic sheathing or something on them. So what do I normally do in this situation? I think I burn it. I have tried just soldering through these in the past, and it did work one time and didn't work other times. I know this will probably oxidize things, it's probably not great, but this is the best way I've found up until now, and I've done this several times now. There we go. Okay, green and red. When you buy a Sena headset, they give you so many accessories. Now, obviously, I've done a few reviews for them in the past, so I've got an absolute multitude of extra mics and stuff, which is very handy. And being able to facilitate using those in my stuff so I don't have to go and buy microphones is great. I tried the purple, what's it called? The Purple Panda, I think it was called, microphone, and I found it wasn't as good as these. It was okay, but it wasn't as good. I believe they're actually better used with GoPros. Goodbye. And then strip this. Is this actually going to strip? No. Go, and then inside this one we've got a central core and a grounding sheath on the outside. You want to unravel the sheathing from the central core, every single strand. Pull those off to the side and twist them together. Blue to ground, the other two to the core. So we've now got to strip this tiny little core. Okay, we got there. So now, am I going to hold this? I could really do with, I don't know what they called, solderer's third hand. But we'll make do with whatever we got. Okay, got a good blob between those two, and I'm over soldering this, so I want this to have some strength to it. First thing I need to do now is just test it, but we don't want those to touch. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Go to playback. What was that? Okay, now I'm concerned there's a break in this cable. Yep, there is. Ah, that's annoying. Okay, it's going to take two because, as it turns out, I didn't have another cable, stereo cable like this. I've only got a mono one, which is fine. But basically what it means is instead of having 3 cables with 2 that go to 1 and 1 to 1, we have 1 to 1. It'll be easier to do, in theory. But that's how you do it with a stereo plug, if you have one. So with the mono, we actually have exactly what we have on here. So we've got white with sheathing and just a ground. So we just need to join those up. So I'm going to... how am I going to do this? Do it side by side? Yeah, I guess that... No, heat shrink. You must remember to put heat shrink over first. I'm going to use a long bit. Okay. So wind the grounds together. Yes, I did just shrink some of my heat shrink by accident. Whoops. Oh, I can sort that out. Right, first thing I need to do is just test this. So, testing 1 2, testing. Play it back. Testing 1 2, testing. Awesome, so we have a working mic. So now, how did I manage to do this? You see, I just slightly shrunk the heat shrink. See, by the way that I've soldered them, when it's heat shrunk, they'll actually hold themselves apart. So I shouldn't have any worries about them crossing over, because if one strand crosses over from here to here, it'll just cut the mic out entirely. Right, so I'm going to have to try and trim around this. I'm trying to trim that way. There we go. Crisis averted. I've considered trying to pop this with a little bit of like hot glue. I don't think it's a good idea. Please get over all of that. Just. Oh, it's still a little bit shrunk from where its normal size. I've just got this little tail that's sticking out. I'll have to just shrink this down where it is, and then shrink this one over the top of that. It'll still be fine. Just fool. Okay, and I'll put that one over the top of that one. Make sure it's staggered a bit. It's just slightly loose on that end. I might put a single wrap of very neat electrical tape. If you want electrical tape to look neat after you've wrapped it on, you must cut it straight, not pull it, and then wrap it as tightly as you can. So that is how I make my mics. I guess we should just double check this is still working. Testing 1 2, testing. I did move the cable around a bit as well, so if there are any crackles, that'll show up. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. I believe that people should both subscribe to this channel and join my Patreon. It would be nice. Guy talks sense. Because when I bring those hairs, they get everywhere. So there you go, that is how I make the mics that I use. As I say, I've tried a variety of different mics from different companies, and I still can't beat the sound that I get between using a Sena boom mic or this mic and then plugging that into my drift. This was actually a tip that was given to me by Phil Tonic about using the Sena boom mics. I tried the adapters in between, as I say, they just caused me trouble. You can just get a Sena boom mic, you can just get a really high quality 2.5 to 3.5 adapter and it will be fine, hopefully, but I just didn't ever have any luck with them. Spending between 99p on an adapter up to about £6 or £7, I found that I got sent the exact same adapter. Yeah, that's just the way things worked. Yeah, that's how I kind of do it. And yes, if I was more prepared about this, I could have just some jack plugs and some cable and stuff to make them up. But unfortunately, they never break when you're planning for them to break, so you just have to kind of make another one up. Though I probably should buy a couple of bits. Though then going through all this, I discovered I've actually got at least 3 Sena boom mics ready to go for the next ones if mine ever breaks. Thank you for watching. Huge thanks to my patrons. And there's the answer to the question of what microphone do I use and how you make one. Because I can't explain all that in a comment saying, well, you get a Sena boom mic, you cut it up, then you do. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this video and the other content on the channel, please consider following the links in the description to show your support.